Hello Stampers, this is Barbara Reed, the Wexford Stamper, and we are here today to go through the tutorial for making this card box. First of all, I'd like to thank you for purchasing the Layered with Kindness card kit to go. We think it's a great project and we hope you enjoy making it. All right, let's open up the box here. This is the final project, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what you're working towards. This is the box. The box opens up on the top, and then you're going to have 4 cards with envelopes inside your box. Now we're just going to go ahead and do one of the cards because the design is the same for all 4. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and put the box together. So I need you to go into your kit that you have, and first of all, I want you to pull out your large Whisper White sheet, okay? All of your score lines and cut marks have been done, so all you really need to do is take your bone folder and crease all your score lines. Okay, so just go by with your bone folder and make sure they're all nicely creased, good folds, so when we get ready to put the box together, it'll go together nicely. Now you will notice also in your to-go kit, there is a document that looks like this. This is just a little bit of a thank you note for buying the kit, but it also has the dimensions for the box and for the cards. If you'd ever want to make another one on your own, you can certainly make it with other designer series paper and make a beautiful box that looks totally different, but you can still use the basic directions for the box. I do need to let you know that you're going to need 12 by 12 size cardstock to make the large box. So you want to make sure you get some of that if you want to make another additional project. Okay, well now I've gone ahead and I've done all my creasing on all my lines. Now before we put the box together, we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere all the panels. So here, let me bring this box back in. We have a panel here, a panel on the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels on the lid, and then we have the front panel here on the box. So we're going to go ahead and put those on first. And what I would recommend is to put your box over to the side, and you want to match up all your pieces. So you should have a purple posy piece, and then you should have a piece of cardstock that nests right inside that. So there's that one and that one. So you should have a little clear bag that has all these pieces in. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is take whatever glue you would like to use. I like to use the liquid glue Tombow, and you're going to turn these pieces over of designer series paper. And you're going to go ahead and adhere those to the piece of purple posy. I just love this paper. It is from the Best Dressed suite, and loads of beautiful florals in that set. Just really like it, and since I am a big lover of purple, this design, floral design, really stuck out for me. Really like it with the purple posy on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up doing all my gluing here. And then I'm going to bring my box back in, and we're going to actually put these panels on the box before we assemble the box. It's just easier that way. You have better chance to really make sure the panels are sticking well before you put the box together. So let's take a look at our box. I'm going to move the panels over to the side, and let's just think about how the box is going to come together. So this piece is going to come across the front, okay, and then this is going to all glue together and come down. Okay, so we need to think about that before we put on our panels. So this panel here is going to be on the front. Okay, so it's the panel that's right beside the thinner panel here on the end that you're going to put this. Okay, now you'll notice that there's another one that's the same size, but that is the back of the box. And we didn't put a panel on the back, although you could. Okay, so you're just gonna put it on the front of the panel. Excuse me, I just bumped. All right, so again, we're gonna pull out my Tombow, and we're gonna put a nice layer of Tombow on the back of our purple posy. And I'm gonna go ahead and stick that. Okay, now that's the front. See, when we put our box together, that will be the front. Now we're going to go ahead and put our pieces on our lid. This is the flip lid, and you're going to put the two smallest pieces here. Then this is the top of the box, and then this is the front. So your pieces are going to look like this. Two here, one here, and one here. Okay, so that's what your lid is going to look like. All right, let me move this back so I can make sure my whole project is in the frame here for you. So I'm going to just go ahead and pick up each one individually and do the same as we did with the largest panel. And see, when it's still unassembled, you can really move the panel around and push down very firmly to make sure everything's stuck. Once it's put together, you end up squishing the box, and don't ask me how I know that, I just do. Okay, so there go those two smaller panels on the side, and then this is going to be that top panel across the top of the flip box. Okay, so there it is. That is all for now that you're going to need to put on. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and assemble the box. All right. So now it's up to you what you want to use, but I am going to use a bit of tear and tape along this line here. Okay. And this is where the box comes together on the side. So I'm going to take my tear and tape, and I want to line it up closer to the fold than to the outside, just because that's where we want it to be most closely adhered. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over now. I'm going to take my pick tool, and I'm going to remove the backing, and I'm going to just fold the side piece over. Everything is folded and measured perfectly, so that will make your box line up just as you like. So now we have our box made. Okay, the next thing I suggest you do is turn it over, and we're going to go ahead and use some glue to close the bottom. Now, when I close the bottom, I like to close it so that the front flap is the last one to go in and fold to the back, because then you just have a nice clean fold there. If you did it the other way, let me show you. You're going to have your line there. Okay, so when you fold this, you want to make sure to put the back fold in first. Then you're going to go ahead and I use Tombow for this. Put Tombow on the last flap going down, and just line it up and hold it. A little bit of, doesn't take long for the Tombow to glue. So there we go. And now I have my nice clean front without the line there, or the seam. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and work on our lid. Okay, the way the lid comes together is I'm going to take this flap, I'm going to put some glue on there, and then I'm going to fold it behind the panel that we have the cardstock and DSP on. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on both of these. You want to fold them down. Put a little bit of glue on those. Then I'm going to take my box. Okay, I'm going to fold the flap inside and line up the fold of the flap to the edge of the panel. And that's going to help make it a nice flip down box. Same thing over here. I'm taking the side panel. Okay. And then once that's dry, you can gently close your box. Isn't that beautiful how that comes together? I just love these boxes. All right. So now we need to work on the embellishments for the front of our box. Let's take a look here what we have. Okay, we have two elements here from the You're So Lovely Layered with Kindness stamp set. And then we're going to go ahead and put the tulle ribbon on there. So let's go ahead and do our stamping first. Okay, I'm going to just bring in a piece of Whisper White and Purple Posy. If you bought the option 2 kit, these die cuts are already cut for you. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my the label part, the larger stamp, and that gets stamped with Highland Heather, which is a little darker bit of purple, and that goes right on my Purple Posy. Then I'm going to use the same color ink, and I'm going to go on the Whisper White and stamp that image. Okay, and that's really all the stamping for the front that we need. Okay, I'm going to bring in the 2 punches. Okay, first the larger one, and I'm going to punch that out. Then I'm going to bring in the smaller one that's almost like a little price tag. And I'm not going to punch out the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of put in a section that says "For My Friend" and a little bit of vines. And those are the 2 pieces I'm going to use. Okay, now let me show you how I'm going to put the ribbon on. Now, if you bought this second option, you don't have a roll, you just have pieces cut. I made sure I cut you nice size pieces that it won't be too short. So you want to get one of your pieces out. I gotta find my scissors. Here it is. I'm going to cut myself a nice size piece. And then, before I do that, I want to grab my dimensionals. And I'm going to go ahead and put the smaller label right on top of the larger and just kind of layer it on the inside like that. Then I'm going to take some more dimensionals and get ready to put this on the front of my box by putting 2 up top like that and 2 down like this, because we're going to have the ribbon passing through the center there. So we want to make sure that we leave enough space that we can adhere that label. All right, so the first thing we do is we're going to wrap the ribbon around the lid of the box. Okay, and just kind of leave those hanging off there for now. Okay. And when we get it to a spot we think we like it, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your label that you made with your 2 punched images, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to adhere it to your box, making sure that the ribbon runs between the 2 sets of dimensionals. Okay, so my ribbon is running in between so it can move back and forth if I need to move it. Okay, then what I can do is go ahead and tie my box closed. So that's how easy it is to make that box. Isn't that fun? Now you might want to look, if you got the to-go kit, the second option, you're going to notice that some of your, purple die cuts have slits in them and one doesn't. Well, the one that doesn't have the slits is the one that goes on the front of the box. The other ones go on the cards because we're going to thread a little bit of the ribbon through those, and you need those little slits. Okay, so here is my box. I'm going to cut this long tail off. Okay, so I got my gift box ready to go. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put together one of the cards. Okay, remember, I'll show you the cards here. All the cards have the same basic design. It's really up to you what you want to put on here as your label, but they're the same basic design. This one I just left with the purple without putting the white on. That's your choice, of course. And then you can decide if you want to put the happy birthday or you want to put the for my friend or whatever you like. But basically they have the same design, and the box fits all 4 with envelopes. So let's go ahead and bring in the card kit. You should have another bag that has your card kit in it. Now I'm not going to put all my cards together because that would not be very entertaining to watch, because it's really the same for all 4. Okay, so there's my piece of Whisper White for the card base. And then I have my lovely piece of Designer Series paper from the Best Dress Suite. And then I've got my strip from the Best Dress Suite that corresponds or coordinates with your box. Okay, the design on the outside of your box. So this design is fairly simple. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my Tombow. And, well, before I do that, how about we close up our card? I'm going to fold my card on the score line, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my bone folder, and that's ready to go. Now, let's get the glue, and we'll go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the back of our beautiful paper, and that's going to just go on the front, leaving a little bit of a margin around the outside. Then we have our 1.5 inch strip, and that's just going to go straight down the middle. Okay, now again, if you have the option 2 strip, option 2 kit, you're going to already have these die cuts cut out. I do not, so I'm going to go ahead and go from scratch on those. Okay, first again, I'm going to go ahead with my Highland Heather, and I'm going to stamp the large label. I'm going to punch that out using the punch, and I'm a little too far down on my paper. Cut a bit off there. Okay, so there it is. Now, before I move on to my next one, I want to take my smaller punch, and you notice that one part here has a little slit, and I use that to make my slits in the larger label. And what I did is I lined it up with those 2 little curly cues there on the end. You can see those through the slit. Okay, and you want to just line those up in there and then punch. And you're going to have the nice slit right where you want it. Others that have the second option already have those slits punched for you, but that's a great little added bonus with this punch. And also the little hole. If you just want to make a little tag that has a hole in the corner, you can use this to punch instead of looking around for your hole punch. All right, so now we have the one piece ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to punch out the next. Now this one I'm going to make a happy birthday, and the way you do that is you're going to use the same stamp that you used. Now I'm going to try that again because I pushed a little too hard there. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to stamp that again. Okay, but instead of punching out the entire thing, I'm just going to use the small tag punch and just punch out the happy birthday part. Okay, let's try that again. Cut off a little bit of that so I can get a little closer to where I want to be. And if you line it up with the 2 little lines here and on the top, it fits perfectly in there and looks great right on your card. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and adhere these to the front of the card. And let me show you how we do that. First, we're going to go ahead and take the larger one, and we are going to put 2 dimensionals toward the outsides, okay, of the label, because we're going to be running our ribbon through here, and we want to make sure that it moves freely. Okay, I'm going to grab another piece of the ribbon, and you guys with the option 2 should have another nice big piece cut ready to roll. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, from the bottom, I'm going to lace in behind the label, and then on the top, I'm going to come back out. Okay, let's try that again this way. I think I have it better. There we go. All right, so I laced in the bottom and out the top. Okay. You want to make sure it's running behind the label, the largest portion of it. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pull your ribbon through. And you're going to go ahead and adhere your label right to your card. Now, if you look at my card from my box, from the sample, it's about 1 inch or so from the top. And then you want to make sure that you are centering your label, okay, like that. And I don't think that's well centered. Let me try that again. Get one of these off. There we go. I think it's a little tilted. There, I think that's better. Yep. Okay, so now we've got that on, and we have our ribbon laced through. We're going to wrap it around the card, so it's going to go on the inside of your card. And then you're going to go ahead and bring your ends together, and since it's still just adhered by those 2 dimensionals, you can still kind of slide and move it freely until you get it to a place that you like. Okay, and I tied the bow pretty close, almost directly under the label. And this tulle ribbon is very, very easy to tie, very forgiving. So you can really kind of tie your bow and then go back and push and pull and fluff it. But that's how easy that is. Okay, and then you open up your ribbon. Sometimes they get a little crunched together. You can open up your ribbon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this long end here. So it's the same as this one here. Pull that a little bit there. There we go. All right, so there is my ribbon that goes on the front of the box. of the card. So the last thing I need to do is put some dimensionals on the back of this smaller tag, and that will go directly onto the label on the front. Now you can leave it all purple if you like. It's really up to you, but I really think I love that, how it adds the little extra bit of dimension. So that is the basic design of the card and how to put it together. You've got 4 of them in your kit, so you can kind of decide how you want your cards to be designed. So that's it. That's how easy this kit is, and I'm so happy that you ordered it, and I hope you enjoy it. Please contact me or message me if you have any questions. I hope we can stamp again real soon. Thank you.